Well, welcome everybody. Uh, you know, and I'm gonna relate a little bit of the beginning story and relate a lot to the training I have today. And it's going to be on the comp plan, how the comp plan works, how points travel, how points thing, who sponsors who, and why the average person, why just anyone, no matter who, no matter what qualifications, can succeed with 7K medals if you're willing to learn and you're willing to put out the effort and you're willing to stick to it and not become a quitter, because a quitter can never achieve. A quitter can never win. And I was relating, we have events every year in 7K, but to me, the event that stands out most in my mind, and it will be always the pivotal event of 7K, because it was the 7K grand opening in July 17, a few days, 16, 17, 18, whatever it was, of 2017. And that was the official grand opening, because back when they took the first app, and even when I joined in November 16 of 2016, we were in what we call pre-launch, because it was a concept of what Richard and I had done long ago, but a concept of what Roger and Richard and the co-founders wanted to achieve from that idea. 5 on the left, 5 on the right, 500 points left and right, or 5 personally sponsored, even at what, a $199 buyer's membership will generate a $500 check. And when you compare that to the average of all members in the Direct Sales Association of all the networking companies combined, of $2.15 per year, well, that will change the industry. And that's part of, as you know, the stated goals of the co-founders, to change the perception of this industry, where it is for everyone, if they allow themselves to be part of it. Well, we were at that 3-day event of the grand opening, because see, we had gone through that idea phase, and we're in the phase of, okay, this is going to be what Roger always knew it was going to be, and he was willing to put up all the money on an idea, but something he knew could come true. And that's happening today. Bigger maybe than any of us had ever imagined, with all the things that 7K's been adding to the plate and will continue to add as it becomes the major source of numismatic, rare, exclusive, setting the pace in the numismatic world, and with the coinage that they're bringing to the marketplace, and the partnership with Miles Standish, one of the most renowned person in the industry, let alone the new ventures that are happening. Well, just a left team and a right team. And a person can accumulate points, and points in the US system is dollars. And it equate right to commission dollars. And so they could accumulate $1,000 in their bank. But if some people on their own, they could have never generated that in that period of time. But yet by becoming a part of it and being a part of it and learning and just an association with it, even if it's just part-time, they can learn how, and then they can benefit from not only accumulating wealth, but earning an extra income and getting those 1099 tax benefits. So that's the point that I want to really illustrate, and illustrate some points about how the comp plan works and how it can benefit everyone if they allow themselves the chance to succeed. And that becomes our job to communicate that to them. And yes, it would be frustrating at many times, but don't worry. The key is you don't give up. You keep trying. You keep trying, even those that told you no many times, but it's learning how to be persistent without being a pest. That's the key. So you'll learn the skills, attitudes, and techniques to do that. And so let me get on with a couple of the points that I want to illustrate about the comp plan, and share my screen. And we're going to go to some of the parts that everybody knows about all the time, because I talk about it a lot. And I'm going to go back and forth between these screens. And let me try that again. I want this screen right there. Gave me the wrong screen. Now share. There we go. Now, this will be some of you after 5 years. This will be some of you after 15 years. This will be some of you maybe after 20. But when you get here, the minimum you can be talking about is 500 a week here, 500 a week here, 500 a week here. Now, what's that? That's your membership, your spouse's membership, and your company's membership. Okay, what I call a business family pack. And if you're married, you can have that. If you're single, you can have your membership and a company's membership. And then we teach you, well, how about your mom? How about your dad? How about your aunt? How about your uncle? How about your brother? Someone, that maybe not interested in doing the business, but will support you and let you have and will that membership to you, and you'll still have it. So that's in a business family pack. You have to go to that training, and trainings like that to fully understand it. And that's one of the things that I'm going to refer to, a lot of trainings that you'll go to, and not just take this shortcut. Well, I asked Bob. No, that won't work, because you're not learning. Okay. And you won't get the full understanding until you watch the videos that explains the details you're looking for. So you must learn. So it all starts out right here with your membership. You get a free tracking center. It has a counter on the left and a right. And when you enroll a person to your left and to your right, if you personally enroll them, they enroll on your website, your username, 7kmetals.com/ whatever your username is. That's your identity that is only yours in the whole world. And people around the world can sign up on that web page where they just click on Get Started. and then fill out the application. You are their personal sponsor. That's very important, because you're going to end up with people placed underneath you, and that volume is going to count for you. But it doesn't make you an associate qualified to earn a check. You must personally sponsor one active on your left, one active on your right. It doesn't matter where they are at in this left and right. They can be, somebody could have been placed there above you, and they place them under you. You'll get volume for that, but you did not personally sponsor. Maybe your first person you sponsored on the left was this person right here. Now, if that means that you were placed on someone's left side, you're in a common leg, because you'll have other people between you and your sponsor, and maybe even above your sponsor, that will also place people down here, but they will only go in this leg here. They won't place them here. You cannot place this person. You cannot put a person here. You can only put on the far extreme first available spot on the left, or the first available spot on the right. That's the only place you can place. So yeah, this leg, if you were placed left and your common leg is left, or what I call your bank leg, then your pay leg is going to be the opposite side. Why is it going to be your pay leg? Well, you're going to build up points in a bank account here, and when you earn your check, it's going to deduct out what you were paid on, plus any points above it that you were not qualified to earn, but that's your incentive to rank up. Now, I'm going to refer you to my 7K cycling of how the cycles work, and what flushes, what doesn't flush. And if you're at certain ranks, what you get paid on, and where it goes either into a rollover because of leadership points, or it goes into loyalty points where you get free product. But that's powerful. I'll refer you to another. This is 7K advanced training for loyalty point cycles and leadership points. Those are two very short trainings, and you must get them down pat. And I don't care if you watch them 100 times. If you don't understand that, that is the thing you must comprehend. And you must learn it the way I teach it. And because that's exactly how it works, unless you can see this when you read the detailed comp plan. And you can see it, but I haven't found anyone that could do that yet. The key is watching it over and over until you really do understand it. Once you understand it, it's a given. It's easy. It's like, what is 2 times 2? It's 4. What's 2 times 8? It's 16. Well, it's once you learn the multiplication tables, it's easy. Okay. But same thing here. Once you learn it, it's easy. But the key is learning it. Okay. So when we are getting started and we're sponsoring our people, okay, and we start off, everyone has a counter on the left and right, just like you do. Everyone else has a counter on their centers too, and that volume that will be coming up a leg or coming up through a leg string is going to count on the counters of everyone it passes through. This is a subject I'm going to talk about today so that y'all really understand it. And I'm going to tie it to how everyone can succeed in this business if they allow themselves a chance to. And so with that illustration, and we'll come back to some of these charts in the end. And especially this chart because I want you to see the end picture. Because this is what's starting to happen with us right now. And I say starting because we don't have that finished. This leg right here, all this people here, does not exist in my business right now. This leg exists in my business, and this exists in my wife's in my business. Okay, because her company's here. You know, she was my goal. Okay. And so we have this to develop in the future if we want to. But right now we're going to focus on just this center and this center, because if we focus just on this center and getting it to presidential goal, you know, we'll have enough, to me, legacy for our children, our grandchildren, and they can develop the rest of this business because they'll inherit it. Same will happen with you, regardless of what income level you get these to. You're creating a legacy business for your children's children's children. This is a point I don't think that is even understood or appreciated yet. I think a lot of people in my group do, but we're going to make sure all of you in our group understand that, because this is the essence, the antithesis of this business, of what you're doing. You're creating a legacy for your children's children, and some even beyond. That's pretty powerful when you come to think of that. Now, I'm going to get back to my whiteboard so we can talk numbers and we can look at a few things. And I think everybody understands those kind of things a lot easier when we do that. Numbers, pictures and numbers always tell stories, don't they? Okay. So, you know, we got our counter, and let me give me some ink here. Okay. And then this is you. And let's just for sake say that you were placed on somebody's left side. Okay. So this is here and this is here. And let's just say, you know, someone placed somebody right here on your left side, and we're going to do, I teach doing the 499, which is 150 points. The buyer's membership 199 is 50 points. For ease of understanding, let's average the two and say every membership is 100 points, just for ease of understanding. Okay, so that'll give 100 points in your counter up here. Okay, now that 100 points went straight up this line and posted to the left side of every one above you, all the way to the top of the computer. We're going to see this in a minute a little bit better. Okay, I call that a gift from above. You're just a member and you got $100 in your bank account and you got 0 over here. And that's okay. Now, if this person was, let's say, a little bit more experienced, already get a circle of influence. Not, you know, some people start a little bit faster, some people start really slow, but it doesn't matter. The key is being consistent and staying with it and being a part of it and learning all the time. Well, if this person sponsors a person, places them on their left, I call that a gift from below. That's why it's in red. The green, a gift from above. Okay. You had nothing to do with either one of these people. You don't even know who they are. Well, that's pretty powerful. And then this person sponsored a person here. They became an associate. Okay. And then that person right away sponsored a person right here. Okay, now look, this person has 100 points in this counter because that person went there. Well, when this person signed in, 100 points went here. Now this 100 adds to that, makes 200 points here. Now this 100 went up here, made 100 points in their counter. So this person has 100 and 200. That person has this has 0, 0, 0, 0. Well, look, this 100 and this 200 add together, come up here, and 300 total is in here. So now this reads 300 points. That still reads 0. Well, you finally found a person that you sponsor. People you sponsor are going to be black. That's personal. So we know who they are. Well, you place that person right here, and that is your right one. That's your personally sponsored first person. And since we're just doing, normally that'd be 150 points, but we're just kind of seeing how this program works. So now you have 100 points because we're using an average between the premium and the buyer's membership, the 199 and the 499. 50 points 199, 150 points 499. Now that person, oh, they really liked what you introduced to them. They've done a little networking before, and now you guess what you're going to do? You're going to get some more gifts from below because they sponsored one left, one right, like that. And this person, they became an associate, by the way. And then this person sponsored a person left and right. And then that person sponsored a person. Oh, wow. Look here. You've got 500 points already in your counter. How is that? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Oh, see, this is 100 points came up here. Now that 100, this 100 came up here, made 200. Same thing happened here. 100 points came here, came up to you, and then that 100 points added there, made 200. So that person has 200 left, 200 right, and that 200 and 200 on each side added with this 100, and that made your 500. Okay, so you can either count the circles or count the points of each circle. But the point is, points run here, and at this point, they combine and run here to the right side. That's what I'm trying to show you. Now, when that person sponsored a person, guess what? This person said, I want to be an associate too, and was looking, but this person sponsored their first person, put them over there. Now, you got 400 points on your left side. No, you got 500 points on your left side. You got 1, 2, and that makes 200. 200 here. 1, 2 is 200, and 100 here means you got 500 points. But guess what? You're not an associate. You only have one active here and no actives here. This is kind of like your dashboard. When you go to your dashboard, you see your counter. You'll see your actives and you'll see your points on each side. So this is what I created, your dashboard right here. So you got one personal sponsor active, and now this is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Tonight at midnight Mountain Time, they do a payroll run, and the computer will cycle anytime it sees 500 more points on each side. It will cycle. That means it'll deduct 500 points from each side, and it will either pay you a check or not pay you a check. It looks to see if you're qualified to earn a check, it'll pay you. If you're not qualified, like this case, it will not pay you. Then this will cycle out. You have 0 and 0 to start the next week because you didn't earn the check, but you could earn a check. Now I'm going to show you with this beginning example. And again, I'm going to refer you to several videos. Number one, my cycle training video. Number two, my business family pack video, where I illustrate how everyone's going to end up with it. And this is a case you will. Right here. If you're single, you need to sponsor your LLC real quick. Okay. And if you're already married, then you sponsor your spouse, and you place your spouse right here on the left. So you don't place them there, you place them left. The computer places them on the first available spot and draws a little circle, and bingo, puts their tracking center. That's how that happens. So now you have your left one, and now you have a personal on your left, personal on your right. You now have 600 points. So now this is your bank side. The computer comes in, cycles you this week. The race is 500 points from that side, leaves you with 100 points, commission points, and erases 500 points from this side. And because you're an associate, it pays you a $500 check. It'll go in your pending, in your Sound Money wallet. And again, that's why you need to know how the Sound Money wallet works, how to get it set up, and how to, but that's your default money to buy a gold and silver bullion or your auto saver, because the company will use what's in default there in cash balance instead of using your credit card, which saves you even more money. So that's another benefit too. And so now you've got more people here, but you've only really personally sponsored one, and you're part of your family business pack, but you're qualified. And so now we go how we build business. Well, you've got one associate right here that is already a sponsor, and they're an associate. Well, you need to actually sponsor a business builder over here, but you really need volume on your pay side. You'd like your pay side to outpace your bank side. That's okay. When you're building a business, you're going to what I call flip-flop many times. So you work on the side, you need volume. You got a lot more people over here working, and they're trying to make a $500 check. Look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people there. You got 5 people here, but that's your controls center. Okay. This is your building center. Okay. Now, so if we've got 5 people on this side and 5 people on this side, you earn your $500 check. Your job is to communicate to them and help them how they can do the same thing you did. By what? One on the left, one on the right, watching the videos and learning how. And if they only average 1 this next week, one new member down here, doesn't matter where they're placed in your organization. You'll have 10 members now on your left team, 10 members on your right team. And we're doing an average for illustration, but 5 new memberships. Some are going to be 150, some are going to be 50 points. So we average to say 500 points came up this week. And now 500 points come up here. We're in week 2 or month 2. So you got to hold those points until it gets to these things. Or we now have a 250 paycheck. And so that changes the matter, because you can earn a 250 check and all points roll over. Nothing gets flushed. And so we're going to do one real quick on this one, okay? This next cycle. So now week 2's over. They're going to race again 5. You're an associate still. This is second week. They're still active. They're active for 32 days. They're going to race and leave you with a race 500, leave you with 100, a raise 500 again, pay you a $500 check. And now look here, you just made a $500 check week 1 and a $500 check week 2. You're so far ahead of the game, it should make your head swim. Especially if you've never, ever succeeded in network marketing and only lost. Where if this doesn't give you the insight to bigger vision for the future, and only you can let yourself down with your attitude of frustration, or looking at somebody else's pie and saying their pie is bigger than my pie. Everybody grows at different speeds. Everybody gets what I call a gift from above at different times in their life, different times in their cycles of their business. And you're going to have to listen to multiple trainings of mine where you have that affirmation happen all the time in many, many people's testimony, even my own. Okay. So now what happens this next week? We're doing week by week, and that's the way you'd like to do it. If you're doing the job description, if you're doing the things, if you got the right belief, if you got the right attitude, this can happen to you too on a week by week basis. But believe me, any faltering in any of it will affect your business. And it's the belief level that gets most people, because you say on the outside, you say to yourself, I really believe. But when you're talking to other people, it shows that you really don't. You're really hoping. You're really looking for them to make you money. That's not what this is about. It has to be what you really are trying to help them, where that truly emanates from you to that other person. That your whole desire really is to help them. You help each other, but your desire is really to help them know things that they should know things that they don't know, and be able to participate in the rewards of having this knowledge. That's what we are about. We're teachers. So let's go to the next week. Now, you got your team is twice as big as it was the last week. These new people want to make a couple of $500 checks too. And so some of them will start slower, some of them will start faster. But let's just say on average, they were half as good as you, or they were as good as you. They averaged one new in your group this next week. Well, that is going to give you 10 more people in your team. That's 10 more new memberships in your team on each side. And at 100 points each, well, let's say it takes 2 weeks. Or let's say this side didn't grow as fast as this side grew. Let's do that. Because you can see you're going to have 1,000 points come up here and 1,000 points here, and you're only an associate. All you're going to get paid is $500. And you're not going to get all that 1,000, but you could. You got an associate here. If you had an associate and you sponsored another person, I'm not going to go through the rank up here. This is not the purpose of this. You can go see that. But what I do want to illustrate is how that $250 check. Let's say what happens here is we didn't really get 10 new ones. We got 4 new ones this week, and we did get 10 on this team. Okay, so now you got 20 on this team. You got 24. It's Saturday again. Okay, you have 400 points. I only want 3 new ones. We have 300 points come up, and it added 300 to 100, and we got a total of 13 people now on this team. Now we got 400 points, got 1,000 points come up here. I want to just show you what happened. We're going to change bank odds so I can give you that illustration. So you'll have an illustration of what I mean. Okay, so it's Saturday. They look, you're an associate. You got 1 active here, 1 active here. It's just your 3rd week. They're active for 32 days, even if they didn't do an autosaver. They're active for 32 days when they're enrolled. Okay, just like you are. We hadn't even brought autosavers into the discussion yet because we're only on week 3. Well, what happens? The computer looks at this, and because we are continuing putting what we call a half check in people's hand, a $250 check, the computer will cycle for associates only. It does not for copper, bronze, silver, them. For points less than 500 on the pay side, that they will get paid a $250 check, and everything will roll over. Everything. For copper, if this was a copper, the same thing would happen to them. But if they had 800 points here, and I'll do this next, but I want to show it again ahead of time so you have a full understanding of this. If you're just an associate, what they're going to do is they're going to come in and the computer is going to subtract 250 points from this side, and it's going to leave you with 150 points balance. It's going to subtract 250 points from this side and leave you with 750 points. You now start the next week with $150 in your pay side. That is so powerful. And so you want to stay active. Now we're coming into your 4th week. And at the end of that week, even if you don't get 250 points, you better be active to roll over those points. Oh. So let's take it another week. Let's say this side really kind of slows down. People above you are working on their other side. They're not giving, they're not placing people here. Now, this could be months. This could be weeks. Time frames are different, but the principle is the same. Now, let's say same thing happens. We only get 3 new members this week on this side out of all this. And even, well, let's say this week, one of those 3 was your own personal, left 2. Now you got 2 on your left and 1 on your right, and you got 300 points coming up. That's 450 now. And let's say this side just continues to kind of grow like it is. And we have enough, they each get 1. They're really kind of blowing it out of the water. And this is a good thing for you. By the way, this is your pay side. Okay. And now you got 40 people in this team, and you got 2,000 points that just came up and added to your. Wow. Now this in anywhere in this entire team. Doesn't have to be in this leg. It can be anywhere in here where that growth is coming from. Okay. So now we're at the end of the 4th week, and you had signed in quite before that. You better be buying your autosaver, because if you don't, all that can erase. You can lose your loyalty points, your commission points, because you're becoming, and when you become inactive, new points won't add to your counter. Only adds for active people. Okay. So you buy your autosaver, you get points that go there. It's going to go to your weak side. Let's say you get the Eagle coin, the State Series Eagle coin, that's 15 points. And so they're going to add those 15 points right here. And now you've got 465. You're just an associate still. They come in, it's midnight, and they check you out. Oh, I forgot to get our $250 check for our 3rd week. There we go. It's important. Now we're in our 4th cycle week. You already bought an autosaver. You're active for another 32 days on that Saturday morning, by the way. And you did it by process now in your own back office. And you set it for the 26th then, so it becomes automatic every 26. And you'll need to watch the training on your autosavers, changing dates, and maximizing your pay plan, and how to change and get your autosaver on the right date. Okay. Now the computer comes and looks at this and says, yo, he's an associate, qualified, not 500, but more than 250. And it's going to now subtract 250 points from here, and it leaves you with 215 points. That's almost another $250 check for the next week. It's going to subtract 250 points here and leave you with 2,500 points in your bank. Now, this could be weeks. This could be months. If it's months, you're buying autosavers, but you're accumulating wealth while you're developing an extra stream of income, and you are building a residual income for life and getting 1099 tax benefits to pay for it all for you. That's pretty powerful when you really think about this. And so now you got another $250 check. And believe me, if you do $4.99 memberships, these checks are better and it's quicker, your whole outcome is a lot better. Now you got to, what we're going to do is we're going to take you to that next level real quick in this illustration. Then I want to show you how these points flow, so you'll understand, and let's say a bigger picture on the point. And so let's go ahead and erase these other figures so we don't kind of confuse ourselves with numbers here. But that's what our counter says. That's a balance starting off our 5th week. And let's get our personal. We got 2 personals, 1, 2 on our left. We got 1 on our right. They're an associate. And here's what happens this next week. This person really get excited and we help them, and they sponsor one on their left and one on their right. Bingo, bingo, tango, mango, as part of this growth. And guess what? You now know that you've got a potential here. You might need to get the copper, because you got an associate here, an associate here, but you only have 2 on your left personals and only 1 on your right, because that's your bank side. Well, let's see what happens here. Let's say these people woke up. Part of it was your person here, and they had you now had 16 total members here, right here. You had 16. Now, all in 1 week, they go to work and they all want to make those checks like you did. So they average 1 new person themselves, and you had 16 new members come in, all anywhere in this group. It doesn't matter where they're at. Here, 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 it doesn't matter. Those 16 members, all those points flowed all the way up through the lines to you on your left side, and we're doing 100 points for easy math. So we got 1,600 come up to that 215, and then that made that 1815 in points. Well, this side's going pretty strong, and they're all on fire. And all these people want to make the checks that all these other people have made. Now, this is actually your bigger side, because you got 40 team members over here. This one, even now, only has 32. But what happened here is you got 40 new members came on board. So you have a total of 80 now on this team. And 40, that's 4,000 points coming up with our illustration, 100 points per. Okay, so that'll give you 6,500, and that's your bank side. Your common side is not your bank side. The side that has the most points, your bank side. And remember, I told you it will flip-flop, just like mine, over time. But it's coming up close to the end of the week. It's Saturday. You've been busy helping your people over here grow their business and exciting, because you wanted points to rank up into here against your bank side. Now, you're just an associate. The most you can make is $500. And all these points will flush over 500. But you don't want them to flush over 500. And they'll deduct all 1815 from that, because you could have gotten paid on it. You could have been a bronze and nothing would have flushed. So let's take these scenarios. Number one, yep, you're going to get your business family pack now, because you got your spouse, your LLC, you put it over here. If you're not married, you better sponsor your dad, your mom, your uncle, your brother, your sister, somebody that'll let you, do this week. And if they don't want to do the business, just share with them. This is something you want to do. They're going to get the benefit. They can get a lot of benefits from it. And you'll have to see my trial membership video on how to do this. But you need to be a copper. You got an associate here, an associate here. You need one more personal, a 199 50-point position. Well, you go, you place it on the right. And so let's say there's a whole bunch of people in between here, and these things go all which ways. Okay. all in here. People all over the place. Well, that's left and rights, by the way. So the first available little, at the end of a little thing on the right side is where that's placed. You don't have a choice. It's left or right, and it goes down and it places that person right there in that spot. Then they have a left and right. That is your right to. Now you have an associate on your right, an associate on your left, two personals on your right, and two personals on your left. You are now a copper. Now you're allowed to be paid $1,000. Let's get you paid as a copper. What are they going to do? They're going to subtract 1,000 from here and leave you with 815, and they're going to subtract 1,815 from this side. They're going to subtract all 1,815 as a copper. Set that at 0. You're going to get $1,000 check. See, this is what a lot of people still think is wrong. They don't leave you with 815. That is your incentive to rank up to bronze. And then they subtract 1,815 from this side, and that's going to leave you with a balance here. Let's see, that'd be 4, be 6, that'd be 4, should be about right. 46.15 after date. That's your balance. That sets the 0. Well, let's say you were a bronze. Let's just say you're a bronze and you got a copper here. You got your third sponsor here and your third sponsor here. Now you have 3 on each side. Now we just say, what if you were? Okay, if you were a bronze, then you'd have your 1,815 here and your 6,500. Let's just look. $1,815. You're a bronze. You can get 2,000. And let's say you have no leadership points. Okay. You could get paid on 2,000. They're still going to subtract the 1,815 from both sides. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to cycle 3 times at 500. You're going to get a $1,500 check instead of 1,000. This is as a copper. This is as a bronze. You're going to get a $1,500 check, and 315 points will go to loyalty points. Oh, loyalty points plus 315 to earn free silver products. And then that sets to 0. So you had $1,500 and 315 made 1,815. Then they subtract the same 1,815 from this side and left you with the it'll be 54. That's not right. 46. Can't do math anymore. There we go. Okay, 46.85, and 0 starts off your next week if you were bronze. If you were a silver, the same thing would happen. If you're gold, same thing would happen, because that's all you didn't have enough to cycle to get those checks. Now, if you had a leadership point, this is the beauty of leadership point. They would deduct 1 leadership point. It doesn't matter if you're a bronze, a silver, a gold, executive gold president, same thing would happen with a leadership point. You had these same scores at the end of that pay week. And if you had a leadership point, you would not get the loyalty points. What would happen is you would start the next week with 315 points and 46. You already start with a $250 check. And yes, a copper, a bronze, a silver, a gold, an executive gold president can earn a $250 check if their pay side is less than 500. They can earn a $250 check. But anything over 500, you're not going to get increments of $250. It's only for 500 or less for anyone. But in particular, it's made for the new people. Okay? So everybody can get the 250 if that's all you have, and build as you are building up your ranks to get to rank. Now, I just showed you the most powerful aspects and simplicity of this business for the average person who's never succeeded at network marketing before, or have never done it and would really like to try it. And they need to give themselves a chance to succeed. That's the whole key. Give yourself a chance to succeed. Now, I'm gonna run to this other screen to see if I can't pick up and show you a little bit about how volume flows. I'm gonna pull this up. Now you all know that one of the things I'm looking for, let's say this was you right here. and this is maybe the person that sponsored you, and before they sponsored you, they sponsored another person right here. Okay, now remember, everyone has a counter on both sides of them. Everyone has a counter right here. So one of the things that I want to really demonstrate to you, if this person was buying their autosaver, and I do a specific training on this of recent, and you really need to go hear that, and I'm going to refer you to a lot of trainings here on this summary of how this thing works. And it's your job to go find them. I can't answer for 13,000 people. Well, where is it at? It's in your appropriate band app or on my YouTube, okay? And one of the things in doing and you finding them, you're going to learn more, okay? But get with someone in your support group knows where it's at or should know. Because I'm going to ask you who your upline is if you come asking me. And I hope y'all can appreciate that. Now, if I personally sponsored you, you better ask me, okay? Because that's a person's responsibility. Or if I personally sponsored a person who personally sponsored you, I call that my leapfrogging, because I leapfrog below them to help support and build their business with them, because that's what we are all supposed to do, help one another. Now, in this instance, let's say this person that was the person we just talked about. Y'all saw how points can accumulate real quick. And so now in this counter right here, this person right here, just by buying their coin once a month, let's say they're buying a 20-point coin, they may have 26,000 points here after the first year, and they got 240 points over here, 12 times 20. Well, that's not enough to earn a check, but they haven't sponsored a soul yet either. Now, come the next year, maybe this side over here now is 74,000 points. And it can only be that if they're buying their autosaver every month. They're accumulating wealth in more than one way. They accumulate wealth in their autosaver every month, get 1099 tax benefits doing it, and they're accumulating dollars in their bank account. Now, sometime during this next year, they're going to have about 450, 460 points over here, depending if they bought something during coin drops or not. They get 450. Here's what that person needs to do. That person will then do their business family pack. That's $199 and $199. They put their first available spot, they'll place wherever it's at, that becomes their spouse on their first available side, and then their LLC. That's $400. They get a coin, they get a membership, they become an associate. That 50 points come up here, makes 500 or 510 or whatever. They are now an associate. They earn their first check and they get a first commission check of $500. Sets them back to zero. They're an associate for this next month. And here's the point I want to share with you. When they sponsor someone, they do not sponsor with the LLC. They do not sponsor with it. When they sponsor someone, they only sponsor right here on that center, that username, that website. That's the only one they'll ever sponsor on until they can start making, until they become a gold. They just make the rule kind of easier, silver, and they make $3,500 a week for a whole year. You know, that's okay. Because this comp plan is growing in terms of what you can make per week, and you want to be able to get your ranked people sponsored on your top center. Okay, so here we go. That person's sponsoring places. Now they got their number 2 here. Then that person sponsors a person. That person sponsors a person. That person sponsors a person. That person sponsors another, becomes that person sponsors a person. That person sponsors a person. So here's what I want to show y'all though. You do not, maybe this person becomes inactive. You don't have to buy a coin here every month or a coin here every month. But when your points come here and you need an active, and that person was an active that you actually personally sponsored, buy a coin here, buy a coin here. Who wouldn't buy 3 very valuable coins and get a $500 check? And you then keep reaching out, keep trying to find people of like-minded interest, people who want to hook arms with you, want to get these advantages long-term. I don't care if it takes you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. Here's the key. You, way down here, you may have this person that becomes your presidential goal. That becomes your Todd Collins. That becomes your Phil Godlewski. That becomes your Andy Osick. That becomes your Wayne Clark. That becomes your George Donald. That becomes your Professor Toto. That becomes your, because see, I didn't sponsor any of these people except Wayne Clark. And my wife actually sponsored him. And so what I mean by that, let me just show you. Remember, when you have 500 points here that come up in this counter and 500 points here, I want to show y'all something. Those 500, as it coming up here each side, and I just went over that earlier, I kind of flowed a little. Well, then you got 1,000 points that flow here on the right side only. You got 1,000 points that flow here on the right side. Got 1,000 points that flow here on the right side. Now it switches because see, it can't go to the right side here. These points here, let's say these 1,000 over here, combined with that 1,000, go up here and make 2,000. Now it's on the left side. Now they go up here and it's on the left side again, 2,000. Plus anything that this side brought in. Then it goes up to the LOC. Uh-oh, it just ships out. It goes over here. Now you got what brought in here. Let's just take the 2,000, let it flow. It goes to the right side. That's how these points flow. You just draw a line through everything, and you'll see where the points flow. Okay. Now it goes up to here. It goes up to where? The right side. So now you got 2,000 points. Well, you got a lot of bank over here. Now you got 2,000 points just flew up. You're just an associate. So what? You're making $500. Learn how to be a copper. Now get into the game. You got $500 coming in every week. Now it'll eat it up faster because, now if this is making 2,000 or more a week coming up, well, you'll still keep bank. If this is making 4,000, like what I mean by coming up, all volume coming up new, that's new to the bank. So where does that come? It comes from your autosavers, renewals, and new people. That's very important to understand. So this person who never did anything but buy their autosave, let's take this person, they had 0 and 0, and there was many more. There is coming up every week, coming up this and this side. When you add this and this coming up every week, going this way, above this center, let's say there's 40,000 points per week coming up. So 40,000, soon as they buy their first coin, a year from now, 2 years, they have to renew every year. But that person could have never built this organization in their lifetime. There are literally thousands of people right now in this business, not thousands yet, but almost, that it's okay. They could have never built that in that period of time in their lifetime. Now, in the future, they may well be if they will allow themselves the chance to learn. But here's the key. Who would not turn down $500 extra a week for the rest of your life? That's what you and I are offering, the opportunity for everyone, not $2.15 per year, but a high probability of this happening if they engage, kick in, stay kicked in, stay engaged, stay learning, put a minimum of watching a video once a day for 2 years at least. Make sure you go through all the company training, onboarding, buyer certification, all the company material. You have plenty of time to do that. You don't have to make a stressful thing out of it unless you want to really make the big income. You want to accelerate the learning curve. You want to accelerate the path of of making this money, then you're going to have to do something. It doesn't come for free. It doesn't come just because you join. Yeah, it does for this person, but they still have to do something to earn. And same thing with that person. They had to sponsor one on the left, one on the right, even if it was their own, in a way that's allowable and legal. And so that's what we do. That's what we teach. And then once you start earning checks, believe me, your whole posture changes. The way people, when they ask you, you made any money on it? We say, well, yeah. But you get to show them your wealth accumulation. You get to show them what I taught you, that every person needs to be on Stack and Sell. Get all your products scanned in, get it up there. Know what you know and what your money has done for you and could do for them. So it's building your story. Well, the first time they buy their first autosaver, they're going to have 40,000 points come up that week, and they hadn't even sponsored anybody. And then this is going to go up. I mean, I've got people with over 1,500,000, more than more. I got more than that, but in their counter, but they made checks too. And the whole key is look at all that they can pull out if they do become a bronze, if they do become a silver, that one side of their business is already banked. All they have to do is complete it. And that's up to them, not up to anyone else. That's up to them. So I want to make sure, again, everyone knows that this person right here that needs to be sponsored in can only be sponsored by that person. Person here can be sponsored by that person or that person. This person, any of these people can't put a person there or there. Only that person, only here. This one can only be this person and this person. Person here, when a person is to be placed here, only that person can enroll them, or that person and place them on their right, and it goes underneath and placed there, or that person enrolls them, place them on their right, and it'll go underneath both of them and there. Or that person enroll them and place them on their right, and it go there. So see, when people rank up, they have to place people underneath other people, but it's in the binary. And so instead of going wide like all other companies do, where you go wide and you segregate the business growth from any other leader, in our plan, you go deep and you're putting business leaders under business leaders. You're stacking them, and all that volume that they generate in their business compounds and grows up, and that person has a chance to become a presidential goal. We have people in our company that have more volume coming up on both sides. They could get paid presidential gold, but they're very happy getting paid $2,000 every week as a bronze, because they never made six-figure income in their life. And they're very happy with that. Now, I believe that some of those people later are going to go to work and want to have more, because they're still kind of young. Compared to me, they're really young. I mean, I got 20, 30 years on some of them. And but they're enjoying life like they've never enjoyed it before. And so why not? That's what it's all about, lifestyle. Well, when they do go to work, the they have to place people all the way down here. And look, those new business, but those new rank people, for them to rank up, all their volume is going to come all the way through everybody on that person's left and right. No, they can't place a person down here, but that person is the person that places left and right. That person places left and right of this. And so that's the part that you really need to get fully understood in, and know this as a long term. This is what I want you to know for long term, right here. This one position right here. Why it's important to buy that autosaver for 2 years. Why it's important to give you that chance. Why it's important to teach my system, my 7 pieces of paper to everyone, and make a commitment. Here's your job description. Here's what you do. Here's what you're doing for your first 2 years. Allocate 5 to 10 hours out of your life every week from, I call it Millionaires One-on-One class. You get to paid while you're learning. You get to accumulate wealth. You get to develop an extra stream of income. You get 1099 tax benefits, and you're building a residual income for life of between $500 a week and $12,500 a week. Where else could you do that? And the products are gold and silver and collectibles, and they're gold and silver too. That is powerful. Now, since I talked about income illustrations and talked about some income possibilities, I want to make sure that I show our income disclosure of 7K. As I end, and I encourage everybody to read the income disclosure. If you're not a member of 7K already, and you heard this training program that I do for people in my group, then I encourage you to read the income disclosure and get back with the person that referred you, and make sure you become a part of 7K and a part of their team and our team. I thank you for your time and attention, and look forward to seeing you on the beaches of the world. And I'll do a question and answer session right now.